Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Red Nation Indigenous Filmmakers Lounge, the Conversation Series. Today, we're going to be coming from you from Ecuador. So this is going to be a really fun interview. We are spotlighting. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to the directors because they're going to pronounce the Spanish name for their film. Gregorio. Hi. If everyone could help me welcome our director, Gregorio, and Lonnie, the cinematographer. And can you please pronounce the name of the film?
Absolutely. Shuar, which is an indigenous population. Shuar Sendero de Vida. Sendero de Vida is simply a trail, path of life in Spanish.
So before we get into the interview, I'm just going to try something because I'm not, for some reason. Better. Is this better?
Yes.
Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll just be doing this like this. So because it's in Ecuador and they're in a hotel, so their sound is not as clear. However, we're gonna roll with this anyway because this is exciting times and we're doing this through a pandemic and this whole Zoom internet deal that we're in for the next couple of years. As the years go on, as the minutes go on, we'll all figure it out. But before we get into this, I'd like to share with you some insights on how the festival has been going. We have screened 105 films, which you can still stream and binge watch the whole month of December. Because our festival was so successful this year, this is the first time that we've done this, and because we're in celebration of our 25th anniversary, we're streaming all the films. The filmmakers have been very generous until the end of December. So you can view all of them at rednationff.com. And so we had 105 films, 35 directed by women, 73 documentaries, 12 student films, and 10 experimental from the US, Canada, Italy, Greenland, Australia, Mexico, Ecuador, where we are today, France, Iceland, New Zealand, and Greece. 25th Red Nation Celebration Institute is creating systemic change to the arts and media, the first and largest global Native woman-led enterprise, founded in 1995 in Santa Fe, New Mexico during Indian Market. RNCI is the longest standing American Indian and Indigenous nonprofit based in Los Angeles. RNCI, the authentic voice of American Indian and Indigenous nations, increases visibility of independent filmmakers, media artists, contemporary and traditional performing arts of diverse artistic disciplines, and content creators, amplifying cinematic excellence with emphasis on initiatives for Native women, girls, and youth in all media platforms and educational institutions. RNCI is dedicated to changing the narrative about Native peoples on a global scale. Our RNCI Board of Directors has built the Institute to cast light on voices, stories, contributions, and assets of contemporary Native peoples in replacing dangerous stereotypes that Native peoples face in media and academia with a 25-year history of cohesive research-informed strategies, groundbreaking initiatives through cinematic excellence, media, and a strong focus on partnerships. So we just celebrated our award ceremony, and we had a VIP room. Were you all in the VIP? Oh, you weren't in the VIP room because you just hooked this up, right?
That's right. We were literally on a bus traveling from Imbabura province to Chimborazo province, which is a fair distance. So our route in Ecuador, we don't just make films here. We moved our life here film developed and the ideas became so almost like an obligation to continue working with these communities, we decided to close our life effectively in the States and move here and stay here.
Can I ask, where is the mic where you're at? Where's the microphone where you're at? On your.
Is that better like that?
Yes. It's just going to have to be a tight on your gorgeous faces. What can I say?
Thank you for that compliment.
So I'd like to, so everyone help welcome, and join us with our wonderful director and cinematographer for the film title.
Shuar Sendero de Vida.
Okay, for Shuar. I'm just going to say Shuar. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's fine. That's
okay,
fine.
Shuar.
Yeah.
Okay, because my tongue is doing something else inside my mouth. It's like Shuar.
Right.
But
Shuar is an indigenous community in the Amazonia, so that would include primarily Peru and Ecuador, the largest part of that population in Ecuador. Our particular film focuses on an area of a pastaza. There is many different indigenous populations that exist in this region. This particular group, through the guidance of Luis Quash, was in the area of pastaza.
so, Gregorio, how did you come up with this film? I mean, what was your vision with this film? How did this whole project come about?
This film was an inclusion of our interest in being in South America, connections that I'd created in North America. An opportunity arose to come down here, meet Luis Quash, and do projects and discover for ourselves the situation in the Amazon, which we were both thirsty to understand. In that process, the film grew. The ideas and projects that we brought to these communities was always central to our investigation and our work here. The film kind of grew from that sense of wanting to know more. Once we started meeting these communities with Luis, we realized the need was intense and still is, and the film was an obvious obligation, so we began doing both. The projects is basically how we continued moving forward with the film. Filming was literally just letting ourselves go with these folks in their communities.
So for the audience that's listening and will listen on the replay, can you, I mean, I can read the synopsis, but I prefer that you share the synopsis, what your film is all about.
So Luis Quash, a leader in the area of Pastaza, he lives in the community at Rutma Kakamari. He had a vision of attempting to forge relationships with communities in the Amazon and bring a type of tourism to those communities that would be an economic opportunity, not needing to then sell land to petroleum or to the extraction companies that want in. So Luis's vision was sort of juxtaposed with our filming. We would join Luis and march ourselves, because one of the things we must understand about the Amazon, or where we go, is you walk constantly. I try to show that in the film. So we would travel to these communities. Luis would pitch his interest in trying to create a different economy for his people.
So it's getting, so for everybody out there, the delay is a little bit slow. We're coming live from you from Ecuador in a hotel. So so it is what it is, and thank God we have this Zoom and the internet to be able to share your story today. Okay, so anyone who wants to see this film, Shuar, you could go to rednationff.com. We're streaming until all the way till the end of the year, which is really exciting. It's something that we've never done before. Usually when the festival is over, it's over, but we've extended it. because all the films this year are so great and wonderful and also different, and because we're in our 25th anniversary. rednationff.com. Okay, so Gregorio, how did a female cinematographer come into the picture for your film?
Well, tell them, Lonnie.
This is Lonnie, everyone.
This is Lonnie. So together, Lonnie and I are a film team. I do all the editing, I do all the sound, and I do work a small GoPro camera because it's very wet conditions when walking around the forest. Lonnie, when we would arrive in communities, people would have things going on, parties, dances. They're very excited to see us. So we would arrive with lots of supplies. We bring a lot of food. We would do some sort of conversation about projects that we can do in the communities. And then in that process, Lonnie would film that whole experience, depending on what it may be. So Lonnie was very busy throughout the entire visit, just filming kids, filming dancing, depending on what they planned. Generally, people were very excited to have us. So when we arrived, they'd set up all kinds of fun things to show everyone. And the camera became that sort of, at first, the camera was pretty hard, correct, Lonnie?
Yeah, it was very intimidating.
At first, it was hard to film. People are very sort of put into a spell when a camera's turned on. And out there, technology is a lot different. Technology is fire. So
Right.
we were really bringing something to the table that they all saw as almost a form of magic. Not to put that in sort of only in quotes, just because it was so different. But we went back so many times to these that people got used to us, and they became a lot more comfortable. And we just really got as relaxed as possible. For example, we gave, I think, 3 cameras to Luis that he used to film people as well. So we used some of his footage too when he was available. Our time in the Amazon was walking from community to community, and whatever projects we were able to create, we filmed. Whatever festivals they wanted to do. Chonta, for example. The idea of chicha, this is all in the film. These are all part of the costumbres that define the Shuar. So we would film those things when they went down, and it was pretty much a process day by day. It was very unplanned. Luis is a very random man, and we would be doing things always. They're always busy people. They're very fun. They like to have a good time, and they're always ready to do something, and Luis always had something planned.
Speaking of a good time, here's my green drink. I've been celebrating the success of the festival. So cheers to you.
Cheers. Fantastic.
Okay, so Lonnie, oh good. She's celebrating as well. Okay, so Lonnie, if you could get up to the mic so we can hear you, I'm going to ask you a question. When did you become a cinematographer and why?
Let's see. Probably about 10 years ago, I was working on films in Salt Lake City with a good friend of mine, Brian Sullivan. He's a well-known cinematographer. I was doing the stills, photography stills on, and so that's how I got basically. And Gregory was doing acting, so that's kind of, we were already into the film industry, dabbling in it for sure. But then this opportunity came, and here we are today.
I just wish the sound was better because your sharing is so beautiful. And I want to hear it.
Lonnie's courage in these communities was amazing. We would go into places, first of all, she's blonde. So we are around all dark-skinned people. Everybody's very interested in what the hell we're doing there. And then we pull out a camera, and it's the female blonde lady who has the camera. And it was a very hilarious and empowering experience to see bravery as people were confused, honestly, what we were doing. And it was a process of invention, frankly. I don't think we really had a formula. We showed up, we were just ourselves. People are very kind, were very interested in us. We had a very good time with them too. I made some really lovely friends. And it was really a celebration, frankly. The Shuar are very fun people, and we were constantly having a good time, and we just got into that process, and years peeled away as we continued moving back to the Amazon, visiting Luis, going on other adventures, because really what it was a gigantic adventure, a continual adventure, crossing rivers, cruising in canoes, riding on horses. It was a nonstop adventure. So it really became very exciting. We'd show up with the camera and everybody would be thrilled, and we'd do our thing, and it was a world that was kind of cut away from the world that we're all used to living in.
Yeah, that's always such a gift, right? To be included and to be inclusive, and to be invited in is really, really special. And it's also very sacred.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
what was your most challenging moment first of all, how long did it take you to make this film?
I think we did this filming for about 5.5 years.
Wow.
And then we started the production process.
So what was your most challenging moment?
For me, the most challenging moment was just getting over being so different, coming into a tribe that I didn't know, and I didn't know the language, and then I was pointing a camera in their face, and I definitely lost some shots because of respect out of just body language. That person doesn't want this. Okay, this is not going to happen today. And then some of it was just being intimidated. They're very intimidated people, and they're very kind and beautiful people, but they really look into you. They look at you. They want to know who you are and what you're doing, and it was a lot. But I was always happy because first I just used my camera to hide behind, and I could just capture them because I had like a mask on. So that happened for a while, and then when I got comfortable with all the tribes, it was like their family. I mean, we're actually traveling to go visit them right now. We're visiting them very soon, so that's why we're on the way. But that was probably the hardest part, is just getting over myself to
Right.
brave enough to just be like, hey, I'm with you. I'm your sister. I'm here because I am Native spirit, and I'm meant to be here. That was what was the most difficult for me. But
That's very interesting, Lonnie, that you bring that up, because it's us just being ourselves, right? And looking into your eyes and just being very grounded and centered in who we are, so that when someone is not sure of the experience and they question themselves, like you did, right? It's like, oh my God, these people are intimidating, right? But when really it's just we're dark skinned, dark eyes and black hair, and and we're just to look right into you and through you is when I know from my personal experience, when I share that moment with other people or someone, it's only because I'm seeing you, I'm recognizing you as another human being, and I want to know you. Because there are times when we don't look in someone's eyes or recognize, and we just look the other way. So it's really a gift when that happens. And so I'm excited for you. Huh? Yes?
I want to say something on this subject. The one thing that was incredible and consistent was the presence of everybody when you were around them. They were then, there, now.
Right.
I hadn't been around a group of people, so from little tiny kids to old folks, they were there now. There was no sense of the future or the past. It was a really intoxicating sort of way of being around people, where every move you made, everything you did was now. It was like a clinic in presence, frankly. And what Lonnie says gives me goosebumps because I remember the first time I met some of these deep tribes, and I was like, these people are going to eat us tonight. And
What? Wait, say that.
that wasn't,
Say that again. Say that again. I didn't hear it.
I was making a joke that these people are going to eat us tonight.
Yeah.
But once we got to know them and hang out with them, they were so sincere and direct. Their emotions were so controlled. They were so available. It was a very powerful, intoxicating experience for me to be around people that were so present all the time.
And you know why I feel that is because they're engulfed in nature.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
so when, you know, when they first came over, the Europeans first came over, I was told this by my ancestors, and I'm going to share it now, is that when they came over and they looked in our eyes, they saw this pure being, this person that was in the now. Because when they came over, they were already into drinking and using alcohol and being into hate and war and all those kind of things. So when they came over and they saw us, they looked into our eyes and they were like, oh my God, just kind of like Lonnie, how you had that experience, right? Can you imagine back then, you know, and it's only because we live in nature, right? So when you're in nature and you're surrounded by all the animal speaking and all the plants breathing and giving you life and all of those elements that are so sacred to us, you know, there's a thing in our psyche and in our spirit that comes through our eyes that's very pure and right now. Right. So in Western world, we're all trying, it's in our DNA, right? So that's what?
I was just saying that, you know, a lot of people in the Western world, their eyes are going through a machine now.
Right, right. Oh, I get you, this thing, yeah. So we're all like, you know, trying to get back to, or learning how to be present in this moment right now. I know that I have to go into nature every day for at least an hour. I usually spend up to 3 hours. During the festival, I couldn't do it, and I could physically feel the difference in my brain and in my psyche and in my body, the difference of not being able to do that. So can you imagine always living in nature?
I met some incredible people that were super major rock stars that just got my attention instantly. They were amazing athletes, incredibly balanced, capable in water, climbing up trees. I mean, legit. I grew up an athlete, and I really appreciated the agility of the men and women that we met everywhere, all super active, incredibly ready to get after it 24/7, interested in the moon, interested in leaves, very specific about, you know, what they wanted. And I honestly dreamed that the film would somehow be a map for folks in the West to start realizing the importance back to Mother Nature and plugging into her and realizing that you're empowered naturally. You don't need anything, actually. It's a very useful tool, and I pray to the spirit that somehow we can activate this younger population to get off the screen and get back out and watch the water and breathe the air. Where you're going to learn, and that's how you're going to protect the planet that needs your help. So, geez, those people were incredible guys, and I consider them right now to be profound leaders to change my psyche and change the way I see things, or at least add to it something that makes me a better man and me more capable of defending the planet with a sustainable goal that we can actually achieve, and that's going to always go through Mother Nature.
Well, I totally agree with you. And did you see the film Kiss the Ground?
No, we're gonna see that one though, because we're stoked you're jumping it. So this, we've been en route. I told you we
Right.
haven't been too good with the internet because we've been traveling. So we're gonna watch. I was so pumped to hear that you're gonna do these films till the end of the year.
Yeah. So, if they made this film, it's really an extraordinary film. It's up for Academy consideration. We're very blessed in that way that we do pick films that kind of move on to get accolades like that. But it explains what you just shared with us. Like it's like a stepping stone of the how-to, but really simple and very touching and meaningful way. So I encourage you to see it, both of you to see it.
We will. That's a bit back to the Amazon in literally 2 days. And we're going to spend the month connecting with family out there, our friends out there, and bringing our son. We had a son born down here in Ecuador, and he's yet to be the Amazon. So we're very excited. And we'll have time to watch that and other films we haven't yet caught up on. We're very excited.
How old is your son?
He's 5.
Wow.
Born in Ecuador, and he has a Shuar name.
Wow, so I'm going to officially invite myself. I want to go to Ecuador and meet up with you guys and take me in.
Please do. I mean, you literally can. We've had many people visit. We have awesome connections. It would be a blast, and you're absolutely welcome. That's totally sincere.
Oh, I have tears. I totally want to do this. I absolutely want to do this.
You should. There is one of the things we need to do, Jonelle, correct?
Yes.
You're
saying it right. I don't say my name right, but you.
Well, there you go. I got something going then. We need to bring Indigenous populations together more often. This is the power of the future, in my view. As a white guy, I can do that. I don't have Indigenous blood, but I have a spirit that I know the truth. At least I know I want to know the truth. If we can bring Indigenous populations together, we can start healing some of the very dangerous and destructive industrial impacts we're currently suffering from. It's got to stop, and we need Indigenous people to do it. They're the bravest, and they do the most committed work.
Right. Well, both of you are our allies here at Red Nation International Film Festival and Institute. And I, encourage you both to keep making films. And everyone that's watching, we're going to wrap this up in about we've let it go a little bit longer because we're live from Ecuador. And this is, this is wonderful. So if you want to see Shuar, visit rednationff.com, and until the end of December, December 31st, you could binge watch all of our films. They're all so gorgeous, every single one of them. And
they really are. You deserve tremendous credit, and this is a very special year for this festival. An odd year it was, but it ends up being a brilliant ending, and it's because of you guys, I think, at least from my personal view. So thanks so much for great work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll hold that in my heart when I have one of those moments where I go, oh, how are we going to do this? No.
We have those moments all the time, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's the creative in us, right? It's that creative process that we go through. I mean, who would have thought that during a pandemic, when there's so much sadness and people leaving the earth at a very fast, rapid rate, that there's also all this beauty that's happened. Like when the pandemic first hit, I'm in LA, you're in Ecuador, but I'm in LA, and it's like the first 6 weeks, I could see the sky.
Right.
Oh my God, it was blue. I didn't know the sky was blue. No, it was blue. And the waters were, And the birds were, I mean, it was all that I would take my hikes and all these animals were, it was like, it was like, it was unbelievable. They were, all the animals were showing themselves, the coyotes, the hawks, the owls, the little different birds, the butterflies, they were all out, all talking. Whereas before the pandemic, you might see one or two, you know, but everyone was in celebration and saying, yes, 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 yes. And the other blessing was that now families are having to be together. They don't have a choice, and they're having to learn how to communicate with each other.
Right.
And having to learn this.
Right.
You know, we all are so busy and we just go on our daily lives and our kids are growing, but now we're like, oh, I gave birth to you. It's like, you know, oh, there you are.
Well put, well put. And healing is part of these kinds of transitions. When we get a chance to know we're healing, this is the chance that we don't want to pass on. So let's continue that idea. Let's keep it active. Let's keep ourselves involved in the healing process. The planet needs us now.
Right.
He's provided a long, long time, and it's time we stepped up now and said, no, we're here to help you.
Right.
You're a breathing, living creature, and we're here to thank you for all you give to us, because all we have is her. The air, the water, the land, that's all we got.
Well, she's the original life giver.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you're in the Amazon, it's not hard to know that. It doesn't, one of those hypotheses, it comes down hard as a hammer on your head.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you, we're going to wrap this up in about 3 minutes, but I would love to ask both of you, because both of you had your own experiences. What was your aha moment making the movie?
I'm going to be cliche. We did ayahuasca, and I had a realization the following morning that stuck with me to this very minute. It's a memory realization that all the information that I've been seeking my whole life has always been inside of me. And that most of the time I've pulled off direction by distraction, capitalist methods, Christians' methods. I'm not judging those things, but there's so much distraction that I'm seeking things I already knew.
That's truth right there. That's real talk right there.
There's other things as far as making brother friends with people that speak language I don't comprehend. I made some amazing brothers, had some great, great times with random dudes that were just like me in many ways, just wanted to have fun and screw around and jump off cliffs. And those people were so awesome. That fits on my personality. And you can do that anywhere, right? You don't have to be in the paradigm you're used to. You pull yourself out of that, you put yourself someplace strange, and you'd be surprised you get away with how much fun you can have.
Absolutely.
Okay, quickly, yes, the medicine journeys that we went on were definitely the aha moments that are hard to put into words, but then I got pregnant 6 months after the ayahuasca ceremony, which I was not, I don't know, it was all there. But my aha moment was meeting Louise Quash for the first time when we got dropped off in the middle of the night off a bus and walked up to their house, and they had him and his wife, Tricia, had the makeup on, and it was like dark, there's no lights. And we sat across their table, and I just knew that we were meant to meet them. It was like the most, like, I just felt a part of something so much bigger, and it's ongoing, so we're headed back.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I should say this because it's important. This film is a ring in the ladder. Our responsibility here with these indigenous populations is just beginning. This is a great project. I'm stoked we got it done. It was tons of work. Keep in mind, just 2 of us did this. I edited this whole thing myself. That was 4 terabytes of work. That was a lot of work, and I'm proud of it. And not only that, I know there's more amazing things coming. We have a responsibility to work with these indigenous populations. They're the ones that defend the planet. So we're the ones that need to defend and support them as they keep this stuff real.
Absolutely. Well, I want to let everybody know that's watching or that will replay this that you can stream Shar on rednationff.com until December 31st. And then I'm sure that this film will be picked up for distribution. what we do with our filmmakers, once you go through the festival circuit, or you could do it before, but once you know you have your run with your film, you have a seat at our table. We have Red Nation Television Network, and we have 10 million viewers in 37 countries. So you can stream your film on our network, and that you know, that's a distribution. That's our distribution arm that we offer all of our filmmakers.
You're so awesome, and it's clear you're an enabler and you want us to do well. And I appreciate people like that, because a lot of times the internet claims to be like that, but we need to remember that being an enabler is a work ethic too. It's not easy, and I appreciate you guys' work and your support. It's very genuine and it means a lot to me.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. I just know that all of our filmmakers that are in support of the Native narrative, and also our Native and Indigenous filmmakers that make our storytelling come to life through film. The power of film is what it is. And, you know, this is our way today to tell our stories to globally, because, you know, we're not, you know, we can't all be, you know, traveling all the time, not because of the pandemic, but everybody lives, you know what I'm trying to say. So it's like, just everyone out there that's watching, binge watch these films. They're all extraordinary in their own right. They all have a story to tell, and you can watch and binge watch all through the month of December at rednationff.com. I want to thank both of you for joining us today on the Indigenous Filmmakers Lounge, the conversation series, and keep making movies. And I'm going to take you up on the offer. I'm going to go to Ecuador.
I want you to, and get in contact with us, and please do come. I welcome you. I want to give one shout out to Raven Rowley. He was the gentleman that in the 90s was down there and met Luis for the first time. Without his help, without his footage, without his camaraderie, I've known him 30 years, he and this film would never have happened. He's a major part of this project being successful, also a visionary. So I want to say hello to Raven out there. Thanks, brother. Without you, buddy, be here. So on that one, thank you so much, Jonelle.
Okay, and stay safe, and congratulations on your baby and your other baby, this film. So, okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We will take this to the editor and try to doctor the sound so it'll be a little bit louder, and but we're live from Ecuador. That's, you know, it is what it is. And
we're in Riobamba, Ecuador.
Yeah, this is real time, real talk.
That's right.
Talk and film. Okay.
Right on.
Okay.
Aho, adios, gracias.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Bye, everyone.